What's up, guys and girls? Dave Gois, aka Camerica Muscle, and we are here with the legend Michelle Brent. So thank you first off for doing this.
Yes, I think I needed to get myself out there again. So when you had done the interview with Rhonda Quaresma, my really good friend, I said, who's that guy that you did that interview with? And I know YouTube is just really big in social media. I'm old school, and I just said, I got to get myself back out there again. So I'm glad I met you.
I'm glad too.
Yeah.
Rhonda was, I was just telling the owner of the gym, that was an out-of-life experience for me because I used to read her in the Bodybuilding magazines.
Right, yeah.
So like being here next to you too is like kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing this for 25 years, right?
Longer than that, Dave. I've been actually doing it for 30 years, 35. I got my start actually in 1985. I saw it on TV. I saw Corey Peterson, and I'm like, I know as an athlete because I was always doing sports in school, and I'm like, God, I know I have the muscle already. So there was a local show, and that was it, 1985. So what years? 30 years, 35 years?
What was the very first show you did?
It was actually a non-sanctioned show. I do the National Physique Committee to try to get my pro card as an IFBB Pro, which I didn't really know that at the time, but it was 1985. It was an unsanctioned show in the town of Santa Cruz, California. And I never thought in my wildest dreams I would get a little bikini to be judged by a bunch of judges on my body, because I was always kind of body conscious. I knew it was bigger, muscular-wise. It wasn't really accepted, back then. And there's things going on about it being accepted today, but that's another story. But it was like, I'm gonna try that. So 1985, and it was, I didn't place, but I got on the stage, and it was like, wow, I love this.
For those that have never seen my interviews, which you guys can go back and look at, I go by two things, and this is the God honest truth. I have 2 or 3 PowerPoints in my head with an interview, but I usually just have a conversation. So whatever comes out just ends up coming out. So I can end up actually planning and just talking about a competition, but before you know it, I like to get to feelings. I'm a very sensitive guy to begin with. So when you started out bodybuilding, that was deemed different, right? So I would love to talk to you about how is it perceived now compared to then.
It was really interesting because it was deemed different, but it was very, very interesting to people. It was kind of like, okay, it's a sport, and we have women lifting, and they still look feminine, so it was actually very interest in the late, believe it or not, it started in the late 70s to the early 80s of when it started. These were the days of Carla Dunlop, who I just met at the Olympia this last weekend. Rachel McClish, she was the big one. Everyone loves Rachel. She was the first Miss Olympia. It actually went further down before her, but people don't know these names, but they knew Rachel McClish. She was beautiful. She said her mind, but in an eloquent way. She posed beautiful. She had just the amount of muscle, but they said, well, she still has curves. So she actually did get it popular. And what happened was it was very popular in the beginning. And it was even on TV, it was on ESPN, and I saw it on TV. And I saw Rachel, it was actually Rachel with Corey, and Corey Everson took the reign. And I said, wow, that's really neat. I'm an athlete, but you could, do movement. And I always liked the combination of the two, because it wasn't just about muscle, hitting these grunt poses. It was the femininity of putting, your own style. So it was popular. Then it started getting where the women got bigger, and there was a love-hate with it. Yeah. It is a sport. You have to have the women. We're all trying to argue it's about muscle, but keep the femininity. And that's unfortunate. What happened was a lot of femininity was being lost. So it started getting a bad stigma, and then unfortunately it got to the point where it just was not a positive influence they felt on women. So they started a lot of different divisions, and then they took bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, out of, say, the International Olympia. But what we did and what we were thinking is like, okay, let's make it more feminine. Let's really give it that understanding that we have a woman with muscle, but we're still feminine. We still have feminine body parts. So, but now it's kind of being in a resurgence.
Yeah, that was the decline of
Yes.
female bodybuilding
Yes.
because they started getting too big. So everybody was like, they're looking too masculine, right?
Right.
Now, if you notice, even though we have more competitors and more divisions, the physique is starting to look like female bodybuilding back in the day.
Exactly.
This is my opinion, right?
Yes.
Now they have Wings of Strength, and at the Olympia they just announced.
Yes, that it's coming back next year. We're so excited.
How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. I'll be 62 next week, and I think I'm going to give it another go. That's how excited I am.
Oh.
I've always loved, to compete.
Is that a first? Did you just say that first?
I just said that first too. I was kind of saying it to people, but this is actually a first
That's
time.
accountability. That's why I love accountability. That's what this channel is about, is accountability.
Okay.
So you heard it here first. She's going to compete.
There, and I was thinking about it even before they decided to say
You
put
stuck
it in
now.
Olympia.
You're
I'm stuck, and you're gonna have to come to New York because I think it
Absolutely.
might come back to New York too. Well, what had happened was the women with the Wings of Strength after they took it out of Olympia, and I don't want to. You have to have a little transparency and controversy here. I mean, it is what it is. It was. We felt that okay, you didn't want us so muscular. Why are the judges picking the muscular girls? These are their rules. Why are they not sticking by the rules? What happens, and this is my opinion, and I could get your opinion, Dave, is who does not want to see the best looking and the most muscular physique in the lineup?
Yeah.
You're saying, with the physique when it came out, no, we want less muscle, we don't want striations. But then in the following years, the girls are getting more and more cut. The figure girls are more and more cut. How could you not reward that? Because it's just so... So that's the catch-22 with the muscularity part. But I think now, because we'll see if it ever gets mainstream, but just to keep it feminine, to make people aware that we are females, but we just have a lot of muscle, is our, I think, due diligence to do for the public to accept us.
I've always been huge into female bodybuilding, just
Yay.
for the simple fact, I have a end-all and be-all when it comes to female bodybuilders. For me, it's always going to be Denise Messina.
Oh, I just saw her again this
Denise.
weekend. I love Denise. She loves me too, and it was such a neat thing to see her again.
Denise, she's going to do an interview with me.
Oh, great.
We've already talked.
She's
coming
amazing
down.
lady.
She's awesome.
Oh, good. When is she coming? Because I would.
Well, she just moved back to Florida, but the next time
Yeah.
she's coming down to Powerhouse.
It's funny you say that. I'll show you the pictures that I did take with Denise. Denise was an innovator. She, and once again, we'll be transparent here. She wanted to show the femininity of women, so she had her magazine, Muscle Elegance, and the women were nude, but they were tastefully nude. They did a lot of different positionings. They did show, the whole body, quote unquote, but it was in a beautiful way because it showed women with muscle. She even liked to do shoots after, like Bill Dobbins, who is another prominent photographer for women's bodybuilders, wanted to show the muscularity right after a show, but in the nude form to show the beautiful lines and the femininity of the body. So,
In your opinion, after when Denise and her husband came out with Muscle Elegance, do you feel like that started affecting the placings and stuff?
I don't think you think so? In what sense?
Well, when she competed at Night of Champions, she killed it. She had that whole leather outfit.
Right.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
But then her placing started slipping, and I don't personally feel like it was because of her physique, because her physique was getting hotter and hotter on stage, and her posing was amazing. But I think they kind of did the political thing on her. I'm going to ask her.
Yeah,
I
ask
want
her.
to know how she
I
feels
would love to
about it. I just
ask her.
wanted your opinion.
Yeah, because I had never done a shoot with her. I was always apprehensive to do a shoot because we would always think we don't want to ruffle the feathers, But I think she was in that position with women's bodybuilding when she was getting more muscular herself, that she just felt, this is my opinion, she felt in that loop where we don't want that much muscle anymore. You're really, smaller girl, why you get, more muscle. Her waist may have gotten a little thicker at some point, all of it. But I got to think on that one because I don't know for sure if it was because of her, her magazine and what she did. We always thought maybe. Very interesting, yeah.
It depends on the perspective.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to ask her about
Do that.
But let's talk about, since we're still talking about female bodybuilding, you're best friends with Rhonda, right? Rhonda's one of your best friends.
One of
And
my
you
best
guys
friends. Resurgence.
I've done multiple interviews with Rhonda, workout
She's my
videos
girl.
on my channel, so just go and check out the playlist with Rhonda. But how did you meet Rhonda?
Rhonda was a pro bodybuilder. I had known of Rhonda. It was I get goosebumps because she had gotten her card in the early 90s, 93 or 4, I believe. And then she fell off. It was like, oh wow, I didn't see Rhonda Quaresma as a pro. 1 or 2 times I saw her at the Jantana. And then I was still living in Connecticut, and my posing choreography was taken off. This was in the when physique first started, and I was really posing choreographer and coach. And she wanted to make a comeback, but she felt she was too small. She wanted to try the physique. Initially, I think it was through emails. We got each other's email, and then she goes, "I would love to hire you on as a coach for learning the physique." And I go, "Really?" So I was nervous. It was so cute because she was nervous, and they said, "Well, let's Skype." So I said, "Okay, that's the best way. This is the new innovative way to communicate with people." So we got on Skype. It was great, and we fell in love with each other. So I helped her through Skype to learn how the physique posing. She had her kitty cat at the time in the background. Oh my God, Dave was so cute. And I had my girl, Delilah, in the back. She goes, "You're a cat person?" "Oh, I'm a cat person too."
Yes, she is.
Yeah, so it was great. It was so, and then we just became friends since. And she came to California, and yeah, so we've been connected as soul sisters since.
We talked about it, and they know that I'm the manager at Dave Fisher's Powerhouse Gym. So I grew up, Dave Fisher was my Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was the one that I looked up to, because he was one of the first pros that had striated glutes.
Right, correct,
So
yeah.
all the magazines, I would be reading about him. I had every picture. So while everybody else was like, "I want arms like Arnold," I was just like, "I want an ass like Dave." So when I got to meet Dave, my wife actually hit my jaw because I was washed up.
Yeah, right, I know.
Oh my God. But when I interviewed Rhonda wanted to be like Dave's ex-wife, Sue. It was her legs.
Right.
She used to have pictures of Sue everywhere. So we had that in common, which I kind
That
of
was
think
kind
is
of interesting, yeah.
Who did you inspire? Who was your inspiration? Like when you looked up on the stage, you were like, "Wow, if I could pick that person's body part, that."
I think it was pretty much Corey, because she was like I said, I was watching it. You're talking 1985, right when I started, 84 when she got her pro card at the North American, I believe, and she had done her first pro show to knock down Rachel, and just her symmetry and the leanness, because I was always kind of bottom heavy. I was always like, I want to get my glutes and my butt, in shape. I always was one of those girls. So even though I was an athlete, I still always had that fight with the weight thing. I wanted to just look like a real athlete. So I have to say Corey, because she was the one that was up and coming when I just started the sport.
The world fell in love with Corey.
Oh, the world fell in love with Corey. She actually, I hadn't met her. She actually was a very shy person. It was her husband, Jeff, at the time, that got her integrated with the whole industry and got her really out there. But she, yeah. And then her posing. I found out, like I said, I loved the posing part of it and the choreography. And I'm like, oh wow, you could do some fun dance, you could do some fun things. So yeah, Corey. And then of course Linda. As a matter of fact, my history of 25 years to try to get my pro card was, I missed Linda's North American, but I was at and competed at the North American. Kim Chizeski won her card. Remember the bodybuilder Sharon Bruneau?
Absolutely.
Okay, I was there too. So my history that a lot of people don't know, I've been throughout the years seeing these other women get their pro cards in shows I have participated in.
Kim is the one, in my opinion, that started getting the women bigger.
Well,
and from Kim, it was Iris, and it went.
And I talked to Kim because I like to have the public know this, that she really was uncomfortable being that big. Her husband got her bigger, thinking, okay, this is it. Let's and they weren't saying anything, and they were rewarding her for it. So he got her so big that it was like, she told me, I had seen her at, I think either an International Olympia one year, she goes, like, cute little boys are hers, she still have, that she was very uncomfortable being that. She was glad to be out of the sport. I mean, meaning because she didn't really want to be that big.
It's funny you said that because Linda Murray is the same thing. She didn't want to be that big, and you look back at it like now, from then, Linda really wasn't big.
Right.
But back then, she was considered big.
And this is a good point to bring up because they said they didn't want us bigger, but they kept on rewarding it. And then I was at a time as an amateur when they wanted us smaller. So they said they had this. Did you remember the 20% rule they had for the amateurs? What's 20%? And then I said, okay, at least now they're going with the flow with it. They're trying to curb it, but it lasted 2 years. But that's another, like I was saying earlier, how the catch-22 of how could you not reward someone when they look amazing and that much muscle? Because it is a muscle show. So.
What's the biggest you competed in?
I competed in 2013 when I finally got my pro card in Toronto at 155, 160 at 5'3.5", and I felt a little uncomfortable, but it was just enough muscle for me. If I would coming back next year, I'd love to say maybe be 145 on stage at 62 years young.
Now, did you ever do what the old school bodybuilders did and go off season and gain a lot of weight? And what was your differential when you were off season compared to cut?
Good question. In the beginning I did that because then you're talking from early 90s. I would gain about 20, say about 20,
so
25.
You were 175, 180?
Yeah, let's see. Well, no, back then I was competing as an amateur 135 because there was weight classes.
Yeah.
So I was always struggling. It could never be a heavyweight because I always felt structure-wise and stature-wise, I needed to be either middleweight or when they resurged the light heavyweight class. So I was on stage at 135, 140, so 160, 165, 175, I think at the most. It was big.
How long was your cut? Like, did you 16 weeks, 12 weeks?
I would always do about 16.
Okay.
That first 4 just to clean it up and start the cardio, get it, metabolism, hit it. But I was hitting 90s at my height. I always loved dumbbell work, so I was hitting the 90s. My husband, still to this day, goes, "We're gonna get you back to the 90s." I'm like, well, I don't know about that, but let's pretend. Yeah.
The older you get, well, actually, I don't even like using age as an excuse because you're only as young as you feel.
Exactly. Yeah. Look at Dexter.
That's what I'm.
He looked amazing. I mean, they were kind of not dissing, but making opinions that, okay, you can see the age. I don't know. I didn't really see it. He could have been more cut, like all of them.
The thing with Dexter is Dexter's always going to be compared to Dexter. He's in a different class, so you can't compare Dexter to somebody else because the judges are always going to remember what he looked like in 95.
And that's what I think happened to me because they saw me in 2013 the way I did. 2014, I was starting to lose it there. I was getting a little tired, I have to admit. And up to my last show in 2017, I wasn't half of what I was. I was okay. I mean, for me, but a little distraction, not as big. And it was like, okay, now you can see that I did need a break. So
I'm so glad that with the Miss Olympia coming, you got that fire back.
Yes, I got that fire back. I actually had the fire back because Hella Trevino, the reigning Rising Phoenix champion of Wings of Strength, is a good friend of mine, and she researched me when I did the 2017 show. And then I said, I needed the break. And that woman's amazing because she went through an injury this year. She lost her mom. She had personal issues going on. And she did it. That makes me cry because I don't want to cry because she's a true athlete, and that's where it stems. You have to be a true athlete for this sport, any sport.
And please don't cry because I'm sensitive, and you're gonna make me cry. And then I'm gonna get a lot of comments like, "What is this big ass tattoo?" I'm crying on camera, but anybody knows me knows that I'm like extremely extra sensitive.
Oh, I'm so sensitive.
I feed off of people's energy, so if you stop bawling, you're gonna make this guy cry.
No, I know. Okay, well, because it's true. It's like. I love the sport. I love sports. I love the challenge. And it's like, how could you take that away from an athlete? So, it's just amazing it's coming back. But to the point where, like I said, someone like her, just all of us, and being feminine and being, female, it's a little bit more to get in shape. I'm just transparent. The supplement issue, we have to, do what we need to do, but make sure we're not, because our hormones are different. So to get on stage and be determined, it's like, how could you get rid of that?
That's why I think I've always personally had more of a love for female bodybuilding than men. And I love men bodybuilding, but female bodybuilders, they're an extra step, because not only are you putting your body through changes, but you're dealing with outside influences, everything.
Right,
You sacrifice a lot more than a guy.
Because of that, it's not because of money. Works in my blood and I'm killed because I'm hungry.